Hey, here we go. 2002 Escape. We're going to be looking at the cruise control linkage and throttle linkage, as well as the throttle. Here we go. We're taking off the plastic cover, and somebody was asking about this whole business here about how to fix. I wasn't quite clear on the question, but anyhow, I had problems with this myself, so here we go. So there's the cruise control plastic connector piece. And so that wears out. That wore out on mine, and I didn't know for years. I was driving around. I didn't know why I didn't have cruise control, and that's why, because it was just dangling there. So what I did was I got a little piece of duct tape, wrapped it around the connector on the throttle actuator or whatever it's called. Capped that little nipple over just enough, essentially, so that the plastic, it'll fill the gap. So that's what I did. And here I am, kind of bumbling a little bit in the video, but you get the idea. Slides back on, and next to it is the throttle control cable. So I show how basically it wraps around and out through the bottom where it's anchored, and then it slides out the slot. So same comment was asking about this. So if you do go and check, of course, and your throttle is dangling, the throttle cable is dangling, then obviously when you step on the gas pedal, you got nothing. So I'm just kind of showing, basically. I mean, probably a lot of people know, and they'll be like, yeah, duh, dude. But, it's just for people that, kind of want to know, how does it all work? And so, anyhow, there is a recall on that cruise control connector right there, or some part of it. And so here I am showing the pathway. The linkage goes from the cruise control up to the cruise control device itself. So next to it, of course, again, is the throttle. There's a throttle control linkage going on up into linkage land. Here's this little trick. So that the nut doesn't fall out of the socket, I just wrap a little piece of tape on it. So when you're going to put the nuts and bolts back, when you're putting the cover back over the top, a lot of times the nut will fall out, and then you have to try and fish it out of wherever it falls. If it falls on the ground, fantastic, but a lot of times it doesn't. So there you go. That's my little workaround. I mean, if you have a magnetized one, that'll work. That's, I suppose, better, but this one isn't. So plastic cover goes over, and just wanted to mention really quick, if you're not too sure about these two cables and what they do, it's probably not a good idea to mess with them, because then you might end up in a lot of trouble. Like if that ends up that the throttle is stuck in the open position, which is what the recall was about, that's bad. Obviously, it'd be like flooring it. So here I am replacing the nuts using that tape technique, and essentially that's it. They don't fall out. You don't have to chase them around. I bridge here a little bit again, just to kind of show, okay, yes, there were three. So if you already popped off the lid, then you kind of know. It's pretty straightforward. But anyhow, that's what you would want to check if you have problems with your cruise control not working at all, or problems with anything related to stepping on the gas and nothing happening, etc. There's your throttle, and then here I go. Here I'm tightening up those nuts, and look at just the tiniest bit of pressure when I do that. I'm not using a torque wrench. This is such a minute amount of pressure anyhow. This tape's done, don't need that. But again, I think here we are, just tiniest little quarter turn.